Hello everybody and welcome to my newest video. Today I'm going to talk about the 5 fantasy books that I love that I have in North Dakota. Two-thirds of my books are still back in Colorado, so I'm not going to talk about those. But I feel it should be mentioned that both Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter are in Colorado, hence the reasons they're not on this list. Without further ado, let's jump right in. The first one is the book that got me into reading fantasy at all. I read it in 5th grade and just fell head in heels in love with it and fantasy as a genre. So that one is Dealing with Dragons by Patricia C. Reed. This one is about a princess who refuses to be princessy. She doesn't do embroidery, she doesn't sit around and wait for other people to save her. So the course of this story is her going out to find the dragon and volunteer to work for that dragon. In the course of that, she finds a dragon and then turns away every single prince that comes to rescue her and learns that wizards maybe aren't the nicest people because they keep trying to steal from her dragon. So you see her adventures and I just love this book. I still read it. The second book is my absolute favorite fantasy book. Without a doubt. Yes, trumping Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings. Which is saying something. But it is Graceling by Kristen Cashore. This book had me riveted the entire time. It's set in a place with 7 different kingdoms. And the prince of one kingdom, Prince Po, and the king's strong arm of another, Katsa, meet up. And they go on this great adventure where they have to figure out why Poe's grandfather was kidnapped and what relation it has with him, basically, like specifically why his grandfather was kidnapped, because there's really no reason for it. As it turns out, they are both graced, which means that they have 2 different color eyes. So Poe has 1 silver and 1 gold, and Katsa has 1 blue and 1 green. And that's how you can tell that they're graced, which means that they have a special skill, such as cooking, swimming, counting, or in Katsa's case, killing. And throughout this, Katsa discovers some new things about herself, and they find out why Poe's grandfather was kidnapped. I did not put it down, even at school, when I got this book. Hence the reason it's my favorite. The third book is another of my favorites. Ultimate favorites, and it originally was my sister's book. She gave it to me because I read it so much. It is Cry of the Ice Mark by Stuart Hill. This book is about a princess who inherits the monarchy, the throne, a little bit earlier than she anticipated, and instead of depending on her parents to fight the war, since her parents are now gone, she has to fight the war. She is 13 and has to figure out how to win against a technologically superior enemy, and how to create alliances with people and creatures that nobody has ever even talked to before as an intellectual equals, let alone tried to ally themselves with. It is a fantastic book, and just to give you a hint, she punches a werewolf in the nose on page 3, which obviously means it's a fantastic book. The fourth book is one that was recommended to me by a friend. And by recommended, I mean she ranted and raved about this book for a solid week before I ever actually bought it. And then she was so excited when I read it because she had been telling me about this book for years. And it is Finnegan of the Rock by Melina Marchetta. This book is part of a trilogy, and in this trilogy, a kingdom has been taken over, usurped. And when the kingdom is taken over, everybody still inside the kingdom has this terrible curse struck upon them, basically. And in the course of the trilogy, the main characters of each of the books have to find a way back into the kingdom. They have to take the kingdom back, and then they have to fix the kingdom, which means breaking the curse, which obviously they don't know how to do. But this is also just a phenomenal series, and I highly recommend it. And then the last book is sort of just the epitome of one specific author for me, and that is Brightly Burning by Mercedes Lackey. I chose this book because it is one of 2 that has ever made me cry, which is saying something. And this book is about a young man, Levon Firestorm, who has this rare ability that they haven't seen in a very long time. It's the ability to start fire and control it. So they train him up, and then they're in a war, so they need this very rare, unique ability. And he goes off to war and helps them fight it. And that's the gist of it. There's a couple twists and turns in there, obviously, because that in and of itself would not make me cry. But I think you should definitely read this book, or anything by Mercedes Lackey, because I just adore all of her books, which might make me a nerd, but I'm doing videos on books, so I kind of have to be a bit of a nerd. That's okay. Anyway, that is all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you soon. Bye!